Was ancient Hindu god Shiva not from the earth? No temple signify his death. In the Hindu culture, one of the supreme gods, Shiva's existence on earth, has always been a mystery for many historians. He's known by many names: Shambhu, benign; Shankara, beneficent; Mahesha, great lord; and Mahadeva, great god, which could dignify his superhuman abilities. And Shiva goes by many identities. In the Hindu trinity, he represents the god that destroys the universe, along with Brahma, the god who creates the universe, and Vishnu, the god that preserves the universe. So he's referred to as Shiva, the destroyer of evil and the transformer. Shiva was not born, he just appeared. And moreover, many believe that God Shiva is a Swayambhu or Swayambhu, which means he's not born from a human body, he was created automatically, and he was there when there was nothing and will remain even after everything is destroyed. That is why he is also called the Adi Dev, which means the oldest god in the ancient Vedic texts. And surprisingly, there's no mentioning of parentage, no place of birth, nobody saw him growing up. Besides, there's no record of his death because there is no significant temple that has been erected to signify the place where he took his last breath. In the Hindu tradition of Shaivism, Shiva is described as an omniscient yogi who lived an ascetic life on the famous Mount Kailash, and is represented by his wife Parvati and two sons, Ganesha and Kartikeya. The evidence that Shiva was the earth does not only come from ancient Vedic texts, but also carved in stone, and even the mountain Kailash, where Shiva supposedly resided. The megalithic Kailash temple dedicated to Shiva is carved from single rock cliff, and it's said that it took just 18 years to chisel out the estimated 400,000 tons of rock excavated in its construction. But how was this accomplished over 1,000 years ago, when modern engineers say such a feat is not even possible with today's technology? Was Shiva a celestial being? India is also home to Earth's oldest surviving religion, which originated in 2000 BC. Interestingly, for many people in India, their gods are not mythological in nature, but are real beings that at times were present on the surface of the planet. Shiva is often referred to as Yaksha Swarupa in the Sanskrit text Pankashra Shara Stotra. Yaksha means a celestial being, like the ones that are not human and have come from elsewhere, extraterrestrial of course, and exist in the natural environment like trees or mountains. Ancient astronaut theorists suggest that Shiva, a powerful being, came from elsewhere and possessed flying machines, incredible weapons, and had supernatural ability to use for various purposes. And according to Indian mystic Sadhguru, Yakshas, according to lore, were beings who came from a celestial realm. They were known to be beautiful and ageless. Yadi Yogi Shiva fits this description perfectly because there are no records of his birth, his childhood, his old age, or his death. The people around him were always described as otherworldly beings with distorted forms and boneless limbs who spoke an unintelligible language. These were the Ganas, who probably returned with him periodically to Kailash. So were Ganas and Shiva from somewhere else, or probably extraterrestrial aliens. According to the southern Indian belief, he was twice as tall as an average woman. Based on these accounts, it would seem that he was nearly 9 feet tall. The only animals he was seen to ride were an elephant and a bull. He was obviously too big to ride other creatures. Shiva and the Great Flood? Ancient astronaut theorists tell us that Shiva most likely arrived at Earth at the time before modern humans walked the planet, and most importantly before the event known as in the Bible as the Great Flood, the deluge of Noah. Now, the Great Flood is a very important clue. Nearly every culture around the globe has some sort of ancient writings or oral beliefs where they speak about and detail massive destruction that occurred on Earth, that is, the Great Flood. This catastrophic event is said to have wiped out much of life on Earth. It was almost an extinction level event, and now ancient astronaut theorists point towards Shiva, the god of destruction. Even more interesting is the fact that Tibetan lamas tell that after the Great Flood, when the whole earth was destroyed by extreme rising waters, when the waters eventually receded, mankind was created by the seed that was guarded by Lord Shiva. There is yet another exciting story that suggests that Lord Shiva's creation was a result of an argument between Lord Brahma and Lord Vishnu. Apparently the two lords were arguing as who was more powerful. Suddenly a blazing pillar appeared out of nowhere and stood erect in front of the deities, and next the deities heard an anonymous voice which told them to reach the ends of the pillars. Adhering to the command, the deities began their voyage to find the ends of the pillars, to only return empty-handed. Once they gave up, they found Lord Shiva waiting for them, and they realized that an indestructible power rules the world, and the eternity of the pillars symbolized the eternity of Shiva. The quote, Na Adi Na Anth Hai Uska, which translates to, he has no beginning and no end, suggests that he was some outside force that cannot be destroyed, and humans do not possess any such qualities. No one can authenticate that Shiva was not an alien. Similarly, no one can confirm that he was or is. Speculations always prevail, and so do theories, and these theories might sound logical. However, the logic approach is not always the best, especially when mentioning such divine powers. This is Unhoused and Wise by Vicky Verma. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.